Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to be covering every single change that the dev team has given us at the launch of Pandaria, or since the launch till now, so almost a week in as we are speaking today. And it's been a wild ride. There's been quite a few blunders, mistakes, but all in all, pretty smooth launch now that everything's underway. We had a bit of a bumpy patch at the very beginning, but within a week, if it's all solved, that feels really, really good. And just, hopefully the experience improves and gets as smoother as the day goes on. But let's switch it over to this and talk about all these blue posts. So the very first one is that the MoP PvP vendors have been moved to the Shrine of Two Moons, or whatever the Alliance City is called, and this Shrine of Seven Stars. So these have two vendors, and it is really good to see that. I will cover each and every one of these changes, but they did this because essentially PvP gear was not originally in the game at the launch. It had to wait until raids came out, or season 1 started of Mr. Pandaria. I think we're on season 12 is what it is actually, but it didn't launch right away, so they wanted to now launch it right away, and that caused a lot of issues with gear being bought, vendors bugging out. So instead of constantly having to respawn and despawn them, they just flat out put them right here in the cities for people to buy their honor gear, and I think it's a great change. It works. I haven't had any issues with it since, and now that PvP gear is a viable use for PvE, you can buy some of that too. So every piece I've bought has worked really nice, and it's been a life changer for me. The next one that we are going to talk about is all these little changes. So the Crane Dancer staff is now correctly considered a caster rep. Crazy for cats now requires 15, cats was 20. The spawn time of the Shin Tao survey has been reduced for the daily quest. Rivet clutch top should remain in the Shangham airship if instant messaging isn't completed before They're So Thorny is turned in. Wintergrass quests now reward the correct amounts of honor. Apparently they're rewarding a ton more after the boost, which they were giving. I turned 2 of them in before and pre-patch, and I got 1,000 rep. It was pretty awesome. Recipe vulnerable potion of invisibility can now be learned as intended. Silver Shard Envoy now invites the Horde players to fight for the Horde. It was incorrectly the Alliance. Where Are My Reinforcements now progresses properly. Vorkilith Dread Shapers and Vorklith Fear Shapers are no longer stuck inside buildings and evading. Very good. This is a huge one. Players can now convert honor points to justice points and justice points to honors at 375 to 250, and these were the exchange rates adjusted in 5.4 patch of original MoP. We may revisit them again in a future patch, so they might make it better, but I think that's what it was in Kata, but it's still pretty good. I converted a ton of justice into honor to buy that PvP gear for helms and pieces that you just can't get for justice, so it was really nice. Mantid archaeology can now be solved. While this was not originally available until 5.2, we feel that it's appropriate to get it started on them now rather than waiting. I don't really know too much about archaeology and MoP, so I can't really give an opinion there. Dungeon Finder Mr. Pandaria Normal should exist as an option for level 90 characters. So this is really, really important because it allows you to go into dungeons like monkey runs as a level 90 character if you say want to play with your friends and boost their ults, or people can engage that way. It's still pretty good XP, so it's something you can consider and do. Dark Blaze should no longer disappear, and the spell's visual effect has been improved to be clearer. That's a skull missing. This is awesome right here. Lady Vash's Tainted Core no longer roots players that are level 90, which is really, really cool because that means you can go back and do solo the old raid. And I actually soloed it this week to test this, and it was a little challenging. If I didn't have Touch of Karma as a monk, I'm not sure if I could have killed her because the water Ellie's still power her up, and if she's at plus 1,000%, she actually hurts. So it's a unique challenge, and I hope that they keep making changes like this to improve the dungeon, because I truly think it soloing the old raids and going back and doing them are really fun. A few others are like Ruby Sanctum, Obsidian Sanctum, anything that really teleports you down or changes where you're at. The bosses sort of bug out and they have immunities and things, so them going back and changing these things, really cool, really awesome content. I hope they keep it as a good gold source that it is. It's not amazing. There are plenty of ways to do better, but it's a fun way to go get gold that's uniquely challenging, and I love to see that. Then pet battles, Arcane Eye spawn rate slightly increased. So that's cool to get that Arcane Eye. It's a really overpowered pet. So those are the quick little hotfix changes that they have added. Then MoP crafting recipes. So this one, I'm essentially going to just show you in-game, but they put in recipes that you could learn that weren't supposed to be there. And so with tailoring, leatherworking, and blacksmithing, you got the recipes, and you couldn't make them, but then they were moved. Mainly the 458 PvP gear that you could just straight up craft. That was pretty alarming. So that's what I want to show and talk about. Then we have challenge modes are going to reopen on Tuesday. So this will be at reset. Challenge modes will open worldwide, so you can get out there, get into it. They disabled it for whatever bugs and things that did not complete. So they have diagnosed the problem, and it should be back online. And then finally, a few more quests, specifically Horde related. They're so thorny and forensic scientists. Or forensic science. If you are a Horde player and did the launch, you know exactly how terrible these quests were. So it was really nice to do. So now I'm going to switch it over to the game and talk about those changes and show you. So here is the PvP vendor right here. I'm obviously Horde. It's right there. We get it. Alliance, it's like to the side in this little courtyard here, but you can very easily get your PvP gear. You have the Conquest, you have the Honor, and you have the Glorious Conquest stuff, so you can just get anything you want and you could possibly use, which is really, really nice. Now I want to show you the tailoring, exactly what that looked like. So when you are doing your Imperial Silk cooldown, so it says this delicate cloth that can be created once a day. In the process, you may discover a recipe you have yet not to learn. This shouldn't be here. You literally just make this. It's not until 5.2 and Throne of Thunder that this goes into play. So that is what it was. That is all the confusion you learned. I learned the Throne of Thunder 522 boots, and I learned a PvP crafting, I think it was like gloves or something, the 458 PvP gloves. So that's what I personally learned. And so that being gone, so essentially they just took it away. You don't lose anything, they just took away the recipes. I'm not sure if you use them to gain levels, if they also took those away, but they've definitely deleted the items since then. Then for Horde, at least, in Orgrimmar, the same place where the vendors were in Cataclysm is the conservation. So right here, Justice Trade Goods, this is where I can convert my Justice to Honor points. So I have done that a bunch this season and earned quite a bit. So it's 375 Justice for Honor, and then it's at the Orgrimmar PvP vendors, which are right inside this hall, to convert Honor into Justice. I honestly don't know where the Alliance ones are, but it's the same ones that you did in Cataclysm in order to do this. So the Honor Trade Goods and Justice Trade Good people lets you convert. So I could convert Honor back into Justice if I wanted to right now. But those are all the changes and stuff. Really good to see them actively change the stuff and fix it. The server feels pretty fine. I'm not lagging in peak hours, and as you can see, it's literally 10 p.m. on a Sunday, and we're still stuck at 10 layers. So it is very, very popular. The add-ons literally only show 10 layers. There could be even more than that. The only complaints I'd love to see and have things change would just be spawn treasures a little faster. There are a lot of bind on account treasures, world treasures that people want to go, and you just see like 10, 20 people sitting there, waiting there for hours, and it just kind of really sucks. But anyway, guys, I wanted to cover all these changes. If there's anything you think I missed, anything you would like to see added, definitely drop it down below. But all in all, I think these are really positive, really awesome changes that are better for Mr. Pandaria, and I can't wait to see what rating looks like and how far this is going to go. So until next time, I will see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.